Stefanski's future is pretty much guaranteed, bro. He finna be up out of there. Joe Flacco has wasted no time getting it in on his former head coach. Guys, bro, I see why Mike Tomlin said what he said before the game. Because if you guys haven't heard, the Cincinnati Bengals put the beats on the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. Joe Flacco threw for over 200 yards, no picks. Man, Joe Flacco looked like he could win the MVP quarterback, bro. I ain't lying, bro. He looked like MVP caliber performance, dog. What Joe Flacco did, legendary. I ain't lying. Kevin Stefanski is in the hot seat, man. We got fans pulling up receipts. We got members of the media pretty much saying him and Andrew Berry.
Breaking news straight out of Cleveland. Joe Flacco just embarrassed the Browns without even putting their jersey back on. What a twist, what a meltdown. Cleveland chaos has officially gone cinematic. Joe Flacco reminded the entire league that experience, calmness, and an actual functioning brain still win football games. 3 things that apparently got deleted from Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry's team-building PowerPoint. You can almost picture them in a dark room, clicking through slides about analytics, while Flacco's out there proving that common sense still matters. The man looked like an MVP teleported straight out of another era. 200 yards, ice-cold pocket control, laser precision, and that smooth confidence that says, "Remember me? I was elite before your phone even had Wi-Fi." It was like watching an NFL time traveler schooling the new kids on how the game's really played. He's practically fossilized at this point, but somehow he's still out here farming defenses for XP like he's grinding a video game. Meanwhile, in Cleveland, Stefanski's headset might as well have been playing elevator music on loop. The Browns' offense was spinning like a confused Roomba, bumping into walls, recalculating, then bumping again. Every drive looked like a GPS stuck on rerouting.
Did you realize that you could have this successful of an offensive game like this quickly?
You're not thinking about it in that sense. I mean, I think you're always like wanting to go do that, but I think what being here in this situation has done for me is it allows you to recalibrate and not worry about those things. It allows you to just focus on the basics, and it's a good reminder that doing that is what leads to success and consistency. So I think the bigger thing going forward is just continuing to remind myself.
You could see it all over the fans' faces, total disbelief. They weren't just watching Joe Flacco succeed, they were watching their own coaching staff get exposed in high definition, and the irony, it was delicious. Flacco didn't need to gloat or talk trash. He just stood there calm as ever, pure dad energy, like the guy who warned everyone not to touch the thermostat, and now the whole house is in flames. When he mentioned afterward that even broken plays were turning into touchdowns, you could practically hear the Browns coaching staff Googling how to make broken plays work, like it was a life or death search. You could almost feel the ghosts of Browns quarterbacks past, Manziel, Mayfield, that one dude who started once and vanished like he entered witness protection, all clapping somewhere in disbelief. Every ex-Browns quarterback just got spiritual closure watching Joe Flacco do what they never got the chance to do, make Cleveland look foolish without even trying. And now, just like clockwork, Kevin Stefanski's right back in that hot seat again. It's practically a Cleveland holiday at this point. New year, new panic, same coach, same 1,000-yard stare that says, maybe if I stay still long enough, they'll blame the water boy. The fan base isn't buying it anymore. They're online pulling receipts, exposing every boneheaded call, every wasted drive, every game plan that looks like it was drawn with a broken crayon on the back of a napkin. Even fans are joking the kids playing Madden could coach better. And honestly, they might be right. At least Madden players know when to call a timeout. Meanwhile, the Browns front office is getting roasted like it's open mic night. Andrew Berry, on the GM, has gone full ghost mode. No statements, no interviews, just radio silence. Dude disappeared faster than a Browns playoff lead in the fourth quarter. Now fans are asking the obvious question, did we seriously trade away the only quarterback who actually knew what he was doing? Because this isn't about one game anymore. It's about what that game exposed. The Bengals, led by the same veteran Cleveland tossed aside, just humiliated the Browns on national TV. Not just with stats, but with composure. Joe Flacco looked like he'd been running that offense for years, commanding every snap like a general who already knew the ending. Meanwhile, the Browns looked like a group project where nobody did the reading and everyone's just waiting for the smart kid to save them. Cleveland traded away Joe Flacco, watched him torch a division rival, and tried to spin it as part of some long-term rebuild. Please, who's buying that? This quarterback room's had more turnover than a bakery. One week it's optimism, the next it's chaos. Every press conference feels like a TED Talk on how to waste talent in real time.
Why on earth did you feel the need to trade this guy to a division opponent for a 5th-round draft pick? Fireable offense. That is a fireable offense. I want to know how much longer the owner's going to watch this crap, because the fans have had it. We deserve better. You're worried more about your stadium than you are your football team. That's the perception.
And the wildest part? Stefanski's still insisting the system works. That's the Browns' eternal motto: trust the process. The only problem? The process keeps trusting the wrong people. Every season, it's the same rerun. Heartbreak, memes, and press conferences that sound like carefully rehearsed apologies wrapped in fake optimism. The fans are exhausted. They've seen this movie for 2 decades. Same pain, same excuses, same ending. At this point, Cleveland deserves more than hope. They deserve a refund for emotional damages. You can practically see the Browns fan base forming a support group right now. Hi, my name's Dave, and I believed in Kevin Stefanski. It's tragic and hilarious all at once because somehow, some way, Cleveland always finds a new way to self-destruct. And this time, the meltdown came courtesy of the one man they thought was finished, Joe Flacco. The guy they labeled washed just turned the Browns' entire rebuild into a blooper reel. Flacco's out there vibing, running broken plays that magically turn into highlights, dropping dimes like it's 2012 again, and laughing with teammates like he's filming a comeback movie. Meanwhile, Cleveland's playbook looks like a bad group science project gone wrong. Their version of the wheel is square and made of paper mache. Now the fans are turning on ownership. Jimmy Haslam, the man who collects head coaches like baseball cards, is back in the hot seat. They're calling him out for caring more about stadium renovations than building a winning roster. Right now, the Browns don't look like a football team. They look like a full-blown circus, and not even the fun kind. This one's got broken rides, sad clowns, and a popcorn machine that catches fire every Sunday.
Kevin Stefanski showing us everything wrong with the Browns offense. And after hearing this, it's clear Shedeur Sanders needs to be Flacco just exposed Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns offense. Joe Flacco threw for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns on 47 attempts and 31 completions. Cleveland, did you get rid of Joe too? Cleveland, did you get rid of old Joe too soon?
Every analyst on TV is asking the same question. How does a franchise with this much talent keep tripping over its own shoelaces? And how does the guy they tossed aside for nothing look more composed and connected than everyone they kept? The answers were simple: bad leadership. Flacco orchestrated that offense like a symphony while the Browns were still tuning their instruments. You could see it in his eyes, calm, confident, enjoying every second of proving people wrong. That kind of energy is contagious. His teammates were buzzing. Meanwhile, across the field, the Browns looked stiff, disconnected, and miserable. Because the truth is simple, football isn't a math problem. It's instincts, leadership, and execution. It's about trusting your quarterback to feel the game, not follow a spreadsheet. Flacco reminded everyone of that, brutally. He made it look easy, and when it was over, he didn't brag. He got humble, talked about family, his kids, the grind. Meanwhile, Stefanski's probably in a boardroom right now trying to explain why his elite offensive system keeps stalling out at 17 points a game. Cleveland acted like they traded away an old lawn chair. Now the city's in flames, figuratively and emotionally. Local radios melting down, hosts shouting, fans losing their voices, jerseys flying, timelines exploding.
I trust AV. We talk about every decision we make. They wanted Joe. They made the phone call. Obviously, it gives Joe an opportunity to go play again. But I trust in Arson. Young room, but I believe in those guys that they're all working very hard. Obviously, Bailey's the elder statesman right now, but Sean's in there, to provide great insight to the young guy. I trust him. Coach Musgrave, Coach Reese. First, I'd tell you is the Joe trade took us by surprise. That was not something that we saw coming. They called us.
It's not just anger, it's humiliation. The Browns front office, silent now. The same people who can't stop talking during draft week suddenly lost their voice. Where's that grand vision now? Probably hiding in a broom closet, praying the Wi-Fi goes out. Andrew Berry, the supposed architect of this roster, suddenly looks like he's been building with the blueprints upside down. Fans know the truth. The GM buys the groceries. If the meal tastes awful, you don't just blame the chef. You look at who stocked the fridge. And now the whispers are growing louder. If one goes, both go. A full 2-for-1 clearance sale in the coaching department. Cleveland turned one quarterback trade into a full-blown organizational crisis. Players feel it too. They know when leadership's cracked, when the energy is wrong, and right now the Browns locker room feels like a ticking time bomb. Once trust fades, the whole operation collapses. Veterans stop believing, rookies start freelancing. And before long, everyone's winging it while the coach clutches his clipboard like a participation trophy. This wasn't just another loss, it was a scar, the kind that leaves a mark deep in the culture. And while Cleveland keeps talking about execution and focus, Joe Flacco's out there doing what he's always done, proving people wrong without even trying. Calm, grounded, having the time of his life, smiling, playing free. Because the best revenge isn't gloating. It's walking away and winning with grace. This wasn't just about one quarterback lighting up his former team. It was about how one man's piece exposed another franchise's chaos. Joe Flacco didn't just beat the Browns, he exposed their entire philosophy. Every chart, every buzzword, every speech about trusting the process. Crumbling in one Sunday afternoon, while Cleveland dreams of dynasties.
I just blame Kevin Stefanski. No, it's all there for you, Daryl. So what did you think watching last night's game?
Well, I think it's certainly an indictment of the state of affairs with the Browns right now, because we had all assumed that Joe Flacco was washed up and he couldn't do it anymore. And then he goes out and does that on national television, beats the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we certainly now understand why Mike Tomlin was furious that Andrew Berry basically gave Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals. But the Browns organization looks like a bunch of stooges this morning,
And Flacco showed the world that leadership still matters more than PowerPoints. You could see it, players staring blankly, fans pacing, commentators trying not to laugh. This wasn't just bad football. It was spiritual punishment. The football gods said, "Oh, you want analytics? Cool. Watch a 39-year-old make your algorithm cry." Every throw was a reminder. Heart still beats numbers. Instinct still beats overthinking. Cleveland thought they'd moved on from Joe Flacco like he was just another name in their quarterback graveyard. But surprise, Joe Flacco wasn't done with them, not even close. He came back like the ghost of gridiron past, dropped a masterclass in execution, and left the franchise spiraling into an identity crisis. The silence in Berea isn't strategy, it's shame. Because sometimes the hardest hits don't happen on the field. They land in the boardroom. Maybe next time, Cleveland will think twice before giving away competence at a discount. Joe Flacco didn't just beat them, he exposed them. Walked away with a win, a smirk, and the sweet satisfaction of knowing he turned every doubter back into a believer without even breaking a sweat. And somewhere under those flickering Cleveland lights, you can almost hear the fans whispering that same old line, "Maybe next year." But let's be real, not if they keep making Joe Flacco look like the ghost of football past, haunting them with every throw. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the next one, because in Cleveland, the drama never ends.